Oh, hello everyone. Hello. Welcome. It's Monday night. Grab yourselves a drink. I've got two. We've got the princess. There's a princess in all of us. Black coffee, 1 sugar. And then we've got our double daily dose of mango vitamin tablets. These turn you wee bright yellow. So. Welcome everyone. Hi Daz, you okay? Craig, Sean, Alex. You liked the video, did you? Thank you. I realised I've been trying to spend a bit less time on my phone, and so I put my phone to one side, and then I went and checked it later on, and I thought, it doesn't appear as if my video's live. And I put 7:30 instead of 5:30. Scheduled it for 7:30 instead, so it came out a bit late, but who cares? Who actually cares, really? I hope you've all had a good start to the week. I think it's going to be hot again, and I'm dreading it, to be honest. Met Office. Let's have a look. 34 degrees tomorrow. I mean, what's the point? Is there any point in even leaving the house? Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, it's not 34 degrees until like 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon, so that's pretty weird. I don't know why it spikes at the end of the day. How's life been? Mike, welcome to the stream, mate. Good to see you. I don't think I've seen your name in the chat before. This is how it works. I don't know many people, but they pop up and they watch every week, and people seem to enjoy it. So, how's life been? I had the worst. We were doing gutters, fascias, soffits today. One of 3 jobs. Let me see if I can show you some pictures of the house we were working on. It was the roof scrape that we did the other day. I don't know if anyone actually saw it, but cleaning. It was actually gutters, fascias, soffits, cladding. Let me show you what we were dealing with. This was the house. And it's just too much. And it was like baked on as well. It wasn't the fun stuff where it just sort of melts off. These side bits, you know, where it's kind of difficult to actually like stretch to. These side bits were very, very difficult. We scraped this roof last week, and as a bit of a deal sweetener, that they actually said, we're going to leave it. And we also sort of wanted the fascias and soffits done as well, so we'll leave it for now. I said, okay, well, what about if I throw in the fascias and soffits as a free extra? And then she said, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, we'll go ahead then. And so that's what landed the roof clean. And then there was, I should have clarified really, but there was a bit of confusion. She wanted all the cladding done as well, and I said, now that I'm looking, like, just so that we're both on the same page, were you expecting the cladding to be done as well? And she said, I was hoping it would be all done, yeah. I said, okay. She was like, I'm happy to pay extra for the cladding. But we got it all done. And then they asked for the driveway and patio to be cleaned. It's quite a big drive and patio, so it's I mean, definitely worth it. It's just when you're doing, like, we had quite a big pressure washing job in the morning, these horrible cobbles that just had loads of chaff in between them. Have a little bite of this. Look at that. The guy had already pressure washed them himself pretty recently by the looks of it. There's a couple of weeds growing back, and so he put loads of rock salt down, and it's like it just turned everything orange and killed all the weeds, killed all the moss, but he's still left with all the black spots and stuff. And so we're doing the hard setting sand on this one, so that should be pretty. I think I'm going to use a lot. Like, these joints are pretty beefy. We managed to get rid of all the I didn't take any after pictures because We've still got to come back, but he's on time. Oh, Craig, thanks for reminding me. For anyone that is in the Discord and wondering why you might not have full access, we've got a new thing now. So if your name is still white, most people have done it. That's surprising. That is very surprising, you know. When you roll something like this out. Oh, cool. So Matt has been working really hard to get these badges sorted out. We've got different experience levels that you can choose yourself. So if you're a beginner, you just click on that, experienced, semi-pro and pro. And this is just to sort of help distinguish who's who, so you get the best advice, and we can sort of tailor the advice to your experience, and you can understand who you're taking advice from as well, which I think is quite important. And they've got these cool little flames and different colours and stuff. So if you don't have access to the Discord, you need to come into start here and then click on that. Matt's been working very hard on this, and it's here we go. Look, it seems I don't have access to the other chats. If you still don't have access, I think you need to click here and show all channels. Show all channels on the settings. Lewis, thank you. Thank you very much. Recently started up my own business down in Brighton. Any tips you've not mentioned about resealing a driveway? That's quite a broad question, that is, mate. Quite a broad question. What sort of driveway? What sort of seal are we using? I haven't really gone into depth about sealing, to be honest, because I'm still taking each day as it comes. There's still things I'm learning myself, and so I think on some things I don't feel confident enough speaking on. Other things, yeah, I do my best to answer these questions and stuff, but sometimes putting out tips, putting out videos specifically where you're looking at like training or advising people, you need to be really good at it yourself before you can do that. So Simon, welcome. Evening all. My DeWalt battery leaf blower is spot on. No idea what you're on about. I have a petrol blower as well. Ease of use with the battery. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. We did buy... How can I show you? Well, I can just pull up the thumbnail. We did buy this, which is the Titan leaf blower from Screwfix. The reason I bought this one wasn't because it was the cheapest, although it probably was the cheapest. But the reason I bought this one is because I've already got the Titan battery-powered lawnmower for Luca to mow the lawns. And this was the same battery that fit. And I thought, it's a big battery. It should last a while. But this blower was nowhere near powerful enough. You know when you get like that initial, ooh, this is good, and then you realise after about half an hour that it's not good. And I missed my petrol one. That happened, and I realised it's because the air speed was over half that of my petrol blower, and so I thought, okay, I just need a bigger one with a better airspeed. And so we took that one back, because you can do this at Screwfix apparently. You can just take stuff back if you don't like it, even if you've used it, and they just don't care. And I swapped it for this one. Oh no. Swapped it for this little beauty, which is the Erbauer. Someone said Erbauer the other day, and now I'm questioning how you say it. That looks like a viewer to me. But I already had a drill. I've got an Viewer drill that had a small 2 amp hour battery. Because this leaf blower didn't come with a battery, I don't think. So I've got the little one from my drill, and then I've got the big one that I paid extra for. This battery was about 50 quid. And they just don't last long enough. Like, if you run out, that's it. You can't charge it up unless you go home, or unless you've got one of them inverter things in your van where you can just hook your batteries onto the wall. That would be cool, and that would make this definitely better. And this one is a lot more powerful than the Titan one, and it's almost as good as the petrol one was, but it's just not there. And that big battery, the small one probably lasts 8 to 10 minutes, less than that, maybe 5 to 8 minutes, and then the big one lasts about 8 to 10 minutes, I'd say. And so by the time you've done a bit of puffing, you're out of blow, and that's it. You can't do anything. We're doing a bit of tidying after that roof scrape, and you just got to abandon it. And I just had to say, like, we'll do a bit more tidy up when we come back to do the gutters, faces, soffits on another day. And we just had to leave it like a little bit messy, which was very annoying. Luke, thank you so much for the 25 months of being a member of the channel. 25 reasons a Mojo 1 should be in the opposite pocket of my fleshlight. Mate, buy yourself a Mojo. You're never getting my Mojo 1, I'm so sorry. The money you've probably spent on my channel being a member, you could have bought your own. Thank you, Craig, as well, for the 25-month membership. That's very cool of you both. We got a delivery. Courtesy of Cedars. Cedars put me onto this. Have a little nosy at this. See what you think of this. So, water irrigation systems. We found in the clearance section there's this HydroSure sale. And if you go on like hose connectors and stuff, all these, oh, I didn't even see these ones, damn it. All these things are so cheap, like ridiculously cheap. Look at that, 7p. 7p. That is wild. I've got 10 of these. No, not those ones. Those are the 13mm. I've got the 3/4 inch ones. These ones, look. And the only issue with these is that they've got the little aqua stop, the water stop thing. So before I've been using these brass ones, and I've gone off them massively because they just, when the hose bends, if it's got like a slight kink in the hose, it just, under pressure, it just pops out, and I can't tighten them up enough to make like a good clamp around the hose, and you end up like hurting your fingers as well just trying to tighten it, and I don't like them anymore. And I saw AC pressure washers at the cleaning expo. They had some big chunky orange ones. It wasn't these, I don't think, but the big chunky orange ones look loads better because they've got this. It's got like a proper, it's a better grip when you're doing it up. And these are 3/4 inch for the bigger hoses, so it's like perfect. The only thing I think I'm going to do is chop out this little aqua stop thing, which means when you pull it off the tap, or when you pull it off your hose connector or whatever, and the water's still turned on, this stops it. This stops the water coming out. But what it will also do is restrict the flow as well. So if you're going for like optimum flow, as much water through it as possible, which is why you've got a 3/4 inch hose, you probably want to get some like snippers or something and just snip that out. But absolute bargains to be had on waterirrigation.co.uk. 31p, I got 10 of these. And the other thing I got, which I thought was an absolute bargain, so thank you Cedars for letting us know in the Discord about this little bargain sale. I think he picked up some he picked up some of these, the claw, the, what do they call them? Can't remember what they call these ones. Oh, that's what I need. I should have bought them. Damn it. I need that for our window cleaning setup, for our pure water tank, so that we can both plug into it. There's all sorts on here, isn't there? I also bought 4 of these because at that price they're like disposable, aren't they? Because the batteries do go, and sometimes they break, like when you're bashing them around in the van, because they're quite long, like if you've got your hose reel smashing up against stuff. So I've got 4 of them, £5 each. I don't think you can really complain at that, can you? Ah, you know what I should have done? I should have bought like 100 of them and done giveaways. I think this is a great little giveaway item, actually. People, I think everyone needs one of these. Little flow meter. Test your customers' water flow. I bet they restrict the flow a little bit as well, because they've got like a little, it's like a fan inside, isn't it, to spin the motor. Spin the, you know what I'm talking about. What else is on there? Hose trolley. Flexible garden hose. I thought someone asked me about one of these the other day. I thought this is a good idea for a collapsible water tank, like a collapsible water butt, space-saving foldable water butt. You probably want to lose some of these taps on the side and stuff, but I thought that'd be cool. If you probably need to adjust the connection at the bottom as well, just to make it a bit bigger and allow your suction hose to clamp onto it. But if you've not got room in the van and you want a 231 in stock and you want a buffer tank, that might be quite a good project. Cheap as well, 20 quid for that. That is, I mean, there's some absolute bargains, isn't there? Absolute bargains. What else we got? Ooh. Oh, is that for low pressure? Is that low pressure or high pressure? It's got to be low, innit? Looks like the one that Nyclean Systems had. Like a big rinse nozzle. I thought that was cool. Hi Tracy, welcome. Luke, you like yours, do you? You like your battery powered one? Don't know. You're buying cheap. I am buying cheap. 100%. My advice is poor. Never listen to me. I don't even have a flame. Greenleaf. You self-nominated. Nothing to do with me. Roof clean battered me today. Too flaming hot to be up a scaffold. Got it sorted though. Yeah, I couldn't imagine cleaning a roof in this weather. I mean, we barely did that roof scrape the other day, and I felt like I'd come off the roof with a heat stroke. Have you noticed everyone ignoring Craig? I mean, you just don't know when to take him seriously. Because I'm a novice. Evening from Stephen. Milton Keynes too hot for jet wash. Got a little inside painting job. I mean, do you think that's better? You know what? You know who I feel sorry for? Interior cleaners. My sister's an interior cleaner. I couldn't think of anything worse than being stuck inside some customer's hot house cleaning their bath. This is the issue. You're buying cheap. The still you get 20 minutes. 20 amp, 30 minutes from the 30 amp. Are you serious? Are they powerful though? Jake, you buy an entry-level leaf blower and wondering why it's poo. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I mean, you're definitely right. I'm not even going to argue with you. But I mean, that leaf blower was like 150 quid. Plus a 50 quid battery. Are we really spending more than that? How much is a still leaf blower? Are we looking on Screwfix, or is that entry level? How'd you spell still? St-I-H-L-L. St-I-H-L-L. So 120 quid for 36 volt cordless. Okay. It's bare. It's bare, no battery with it. Okay. See. Are we really paying 300 quid? Come on, are we paying 300 quid for a leaf blower? I mean, I get it. If that's the good one, I get it. AR backpack battery lasts for long periods. 300S battery sold separately. How much is the battery? Do they sell them? £150 for the battery. So what we're talking, 470 quid for a leaf blower. Is this actually what we're doing? Do people do this? Pros needed accounts should be 5 or 10% less. I mean, 5 or 10% ain't making a dent, really, is it? Come on. Heart attack incoming. I don't understand. Surely you guys aren't buying that. Aaron, welcome. Hi Jake, great videos, mate. How's everyone getting work these days? I've been getting leads through paid ads through Facebook and Google, but can get a bit expensive. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't really matter how expensive it gets as long as it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's 30% of the cost of the lead, plus your expenses to do the job, hopefully you're still left with at least 50%. I don't know. You gotta sort of weigh up, haven't you? Like I was listening to a podcast earlier this week that say, I think it was Gary V, and he was like, every small business, every small local service-based business should be spending at least £100 a week on ads, on like Google ads or Facebook ads. But also he's saying that you should I thought it was quite good advice actually. Get any piece of content from your page that's already done well organically and turn that into an ad, like boost that one or create an ad around that content, because you know it works already organically and you're not testing a new piece of content on, you know, with a like £100 budget. Jack will never buy anything decent. I'm shocked he's van mounted and not still rocking the old £300 jet wash. Mate, it was a slow burn. It was a slow upgrade. I didn't want to have to. All that equipment I've got in that van, I didn't want to buy any of it. It came through necessity rather than actual me thinking, oh, I'm going to go and upgrade. It was just like, no, I need to upgrade now. Viewer again, cheap. How dare you? Resi Block Trade Pro 70 meter squared driveway. Thinking of using a roller. Any objections to that? Is that a block paved job? Is the Resi Block one the is that the polyurethane one? Because I don't think you can actually put that through a sprayer. I think it's too thick. If it's the one I'm thinking about. So you'll have to roll it. In which case, your sanding will need to be like on point. If it's block paving, your sanding will need to be perfect, like well below the bevel. Else you'll end up pulling sand. You'll have sand stick into the roller and you'll pull it across the face of the blocks. And then it will set in place and you'll never get it back off. So you've got to be really careful with it. You shouldn't really have to push down on the roller. You should just be able to hold it in between two fingers, and you should have enough on the roller where you can just push it across the face of the blocks and it will just fill the joints by itself. You don't need to be pushing down on it. Craig, with that sort of advice, mate, that's why you're a green leaf. Sorry to say. Buer is like Jack Buer. I've never heard of him. Jack Buer, is that how you say it? Hate being out of blow on a job, I know. Nothing worse. Have a look if you can get a twin battery, pal. I have a twin and run small cheap inverter with twin charger and it seems to cope with the workload. A twin battery? A twin Buer battery? What do you mean? Literally like a double battery? I don't think they do it. I don't think they do, mate. Thank you, Luke. Matt. Yeah, that's a good point also, Lewis. Is it Louis or Lewis? I can't really tell. Yeah, doing it diagonally against the blocks will help. Definitely. The HydroSure plastic fittings are garbage. There's a reason they're 7p. Damn it. Why is everything I buy crap? Oh wait, is it because it's like the common theme of everything being cheap? That could be it. That could potentially be it. $100 should last you about the same time as one Gecko fitting. You think I should have gone Gecko instead? Think I should have got one of these instead. I used to have these, but one of them, the rubber on one of them perished, and I thought, ah. But to be fair, I don't think I had any real issues with them. They lock together really nicely, and they do really make a water. These were the only ones where I was like super confident that they were a watertight seal. I'd have these If I was running like a hose reel, like a low pressure hose reel in the van, mounted in the van, I'd probably have these fittings over anything else. Yeah, you're probably right. I just thought they were quite bulky on the end of the hose. They were very heavy, and the issue with these is that I mean, it's a very minor issue, but you have to unscrew the customer's current fitting on their tap. You can't just use that one, but I suppose most people are unscrewing that fitting anyway and putting their own on, aren't they? I don't know. We don't always. We just use what's there normally. False economy buying cheap for pros. Yeah, you might be right. You're definitely right, 100%. I told you about these months ago. James, if you're posting links, I won't see them. I'm sorry. You're probably past talking about leaf blowers now, but if you buy a decent one, Makita Milwaukee, for example, you can't go wrong. They're fantastic with the confidence of being battery. They're fantastic with the convenience of being battery. Stafford Park in Telford, I paid delivery, didn't realise. I don't know where that is, but I'm assuming it's close to you. That's cool. Dan, welcome. All pros should be buying MTN and buy for 20 years. What's MTN? I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. 40 volt is better. Full access to the Makita XGT tools. Factor in the zero maintenance and always ready to go with the battery. Kevin. Very cool, mate. Do we not have a moderator in chat? I need to make some mods, don't I? Who wants to be a mod? Who's here every week and they want to be a moderator? Craig's here every week. But he nips in and out. He pops in and out, doesn't he, Craig? And sometimes he just does stuff for a laugh. I don't think we could trust Craig with power. I'll be totally honest. I think if we gave Craig power, he would he'd be a liability. A Bosch battery blower, really powerful but drains rapidly. Batteries are ridiculously expensive. What was the name of the place with the cheap stuff? It was called waterirrigation.co.uk. The battery cost to charge is around 50p. I mean, if you're talking about maintenance and cost of fuel and stuff, I can imagine the a battery leaf blower is like way more economical over the course of a year or something. But it's just the upfront cost, isn't it? And just do you think battery power is actually more convenient than petrol? Because I've always got petrol in the van. That's the thing. I've always got it in the van. It's just my petrol blowers. The ones I've had, again, cheap ones, but they kept breaking. I've had 3, and they all well, I've had 2 actually. They both bust. £100 a week is rookie numbers for ads. I have a Greenworks battery blower. Ooh. You can get everything from Screwfix, can't you? Darren should start selling these. It really goes with the PWS vibe. Airflow speed 110 miles per hour. 666 meters cubed per hour. What's everyone's favourite jointing compound? That's a good question. What is everyone's favourite? We're only using Nexus Titan now, as most of you know. We don't use anything else. There's a new thing that I'd quite like to try called Gravlock. So you know when you've got like stones, when the customer's got like a stone border or something, they can spray this on and it keeps it in place, keeps all the stones in place, and it gives it like a wet look as well. Binds loose gravel, pour on or mix in. Oh, you can mix it into the I wonder if you can make like your own resin. You can mix aggregate in with it and then pour the aggregate like you would if like pouring a resin drive. Very cool. Speaking of PWS, welcome Darren. Monday movie night, nice. Erbauer. Oh, it's pronounced Erbauer. Okay. If you were starting over again, would you go van mount and would you have a hot and cold water system? If I was starting over again, I probably wouldn't do anything differently. Other than, instead of going from my little 12 litre per minute machine, 11 litre per minute I think, instead of going from my little Parker brand machine to my equipped to clean 15 litre per minute machine, instead of doing that jump, I'd have probably, if I was thinking like the chat's thinking, as in like buy cheap, buy twice, that machine caused me so much hassle. But there's me thinking like, oh, it's my new machine, it's getting, you know, it's getting me through all this work and stuff. It did work, and it was plenty powerful enough for like a 15 litre per minute machine. But it was just so unreliable. I had so many issues with it. I'd rather have just skipped that step and gone straight in for like a British made machine. And yes, I think the sooner that you can go van mounted, the better, because I essentially van mounted that. I'll show you what machine I bought. Oh, the price has gone up a little bit. This is the one I bought, and I essentially van mounted it. I had a 250 litre upright tank. I took the top of the frame off of this, so you can just take this part off, and I just sat it sideways next to the tank. The only issue I had with this machine was the unloader valve. It's got a cheap pump on it. It's got a Chinese pump on it. I think the engine was solid. I think it was fine. It's still going strong today. Rich has got it. Rich is using this engine, but all my issues stopped as soon as I had PWSAS swap over the unloader valve. They swapped it for like a return to tank system, and all my issues just went away. The spring inside this little shuttle, the spring inside this little unloader is not fit for purpose, and there's loads of people that messaged me saying they had the same issue. The spring kept disintegrating, blocking up my nozzles, the pump was chasing. Yeah, it was constantly going just when it was like idling, doing nothing, and it was just like ruining the pump. So I kind of wish I'd have just skipped this machine and gone straight for a proper one. Like, there's so many options for like a British made machine with like a proper recognised pump, for example. 15 litre per minute, 250 bar. So something like this. Clearly more expensive, but this machine will last. And you can find people that will actually service it. And you can get parts at a reasonable price. That's all I'd say on the matter. Got the little one's birthday. Oh, nice. What did you get? Hey, Merrick, thank you so much for becoming a member. You've now got access to the Discord. Rubber is a consumable item. You should just replace all rubbers annually or less as preventative maintenance. What are we talking about? Rubber. With that machine as well, and all the hoses and the lance and stuff, I was replacing O-rings like monthly, and then as soon as I switched to the ST2600 trigger, all those issues went away. As soon as I switched to this one, and Darren put all the big triple O-ring, big MTM fittings on all my hoses and stuff. All of my my ball valve as well. I remember having a ball valve on the Lance, and that just got harder and harder to use over time. Yeah, the big MTM quick release fittings. These big chunky boys. Triple O-rings. I actually did a video with Darren. What did I just do? Did I just like that? I didn't mean to do that. Did a video with Darren where he upgraded all my my fittings, and it was this one, I think. Upgrades and technical chat. Pretty sure it was that one. That's okay, Matt. It was just someone talking politics for some reason. Talking about America. No idea why. Here we go. Oh, look at me old van. Rich has got this now. Look how tight that was all in there. There's the difference with the fittings, look. That one's my old one. That one's my new one. All the O-rings. Again, I'm still using the same ones, never had an issue. Not once. You get the big chunky male bits on them. Well worth the upgrade to these. I was bursting O-rings like every month. They make fittings in Italy. Okay. When's Jakey go? 30th of September, I think. He was going to come on tonight, but I think we do. I think we get him on and do like a fun stream where we do like giveaways and stuff, maybe. They both bust because you didn't put oil in the fuel. That's a fair point as well. That is a very fair point. My petrol ones, yeah. Curbside banging away £140 a day on ads. Top dog stuff. £140 a day on ads. That's wild. What? I don't understand. Can you do that sort of volume of work? Like, how many leads must you be generating from £140 a day? It's got to be quite a lot. Can you even like keep up with that sort of work? What you lying for? Using some Nexus Pro grout sealer with my next Titan job. See how that changes things. Ooh, that's interesting. I've noticed they do a bunch of different sealers and stuff. I'm currently on about £70 a day on ads, but about to turn the pressure washing off now to go into like gutters and stuff. We did like one of the quickest gutter clears today. I think we must have been in and out in about 25 minutes. Quite a 3 sides as well. Quite a decent sized house. Your question about steam as well. Steam would be great for things like this, for like chewing gum removal and stuff, and heritage cleaning and low pressure restorations on delicate surfaces. I'm just not sure I'm ready to give up the space yet. Once we've condensed Jakey's machine onto my stack, which will be happening soon, then I'll be ready to potentially get a boiler. But I just haven't got the room at the minute. And it's just like another thing to go wrong. Don't you guys think steam is just another thing to go wrong? Like, I just want my setup to be super reliable. At the minute, I can just turn it on and go wherever I am, and it just works. And I just don't want to ruin it. Although I have got a split hose at the moment that I still haven't fixed. Herbu is made by the same company as Works. It's the hassle that you don't get with batteries and zero maintenance cost. He just took out a 25 grand loan for 2 new vans and 100,000 leaflets, and is gaining about 100 to 150 new window cleaning customers a week. 100 to 150 new window cleaning customers a week. I mean, it sounds like he's going all in, to be fair. I mean, if that's the route you want to go, to expanding and having more vans on the road, more staff, and just like smash in as much work as you can, spending a ton of money on adverts and leaflets and stuff makes sense. If you're like, right, we're doing it. I'm just not sure I fancy all those overheads, like 25 grand loan, vans, maintenance, insurance, and then the just reliability of finding the right staff and sick days, and I don't know, it sounds like a nightmare to me. It sounds like the total opposite of the direction that I want to go. But some people are built for that, and I'm not, so. James. Oh, I'm not behind. You're just really far back. Yeah, I don't have a timestamp. Someone put a timestamp in the chat, and then you'll know how far back I am. I'm reading everyone's message. Okay. Best way to remove black spots. I've found hypo first, then clean. It hasn't removed it. Central One Network. Welcome. Great video, that informative. I'm glad you thought so, James. I don't know which one you're talking about. Is it this one or the one that I just put out earlier? I'm not sure. Oh, this one. I think you're probably talking about this one. What's the best way to remove black spots? I've hypoed first, then cleaned it. Hasn't removed it. If it's really bad, we pre-treat, clean it, focus the black spots with a turbo nozzle, and then post-treat it with something a lot stronger. So the pre-treatment is normally... This is block paving. This is a hypo-safe surface. So do your research when it comes to which chemicals are appropriate. But about 1 to 5 for a pre-treatment on something that's really bad. Clean it. Knock the head off of all the big black spots. And then go in afterwards 1 to 1. So it's just a 50-50 mix in a pump sprayer. We're not putting it through the X-Jet because it dilutes it too much. I think the lowest dilution you can do through the X-Jet is 1 to 3. So we're doing 1 to 1. And spray it on. And it normally clears it. On that second post-treatment, it normally clears it. Because it's generally only small areas that the pre-treatment doesn't get. Also, I realised today, you know these IK sprayers? IK sprayer. We've got the AK one, which I think is the alkaline one, which is the one we use for our hypo sprayers. It's a IK AK, I think. Multi, IK multi. Am I just absolutely tripping? Which one was it? I think I got it from Pure Seal from the Cleaning Expo. Resistant to acids and most aggressive products. Acids. These little sprayers look good. Acids. Okay. Which one? Daz knows. Daz, which one did I get from the neutral products, acids, disinfectants? It doesn't matter either way. In the nozzles, in the end of these nozzles, in here, I didn't realize there's a filter. And it just wasn't spraying very well. And I was pumping it up. I got like a good burst in the beginning, and then it was just, it was like it was blocked. No matter how much I pumped it up, it just wasn't coming out properly. And so I thought, oh, I've probably got the end blocked or something. And so I unscrewed the little nozzle in the end. Oh, someone's drifting outside. I can hear it. Unscrewed the little nozzle, and there's a filter just before the nozzle, and it was totally rammed full of crap. I took it out and it was working beautifully afterwards. So if you've got an AK sprayer, IK sprayer, check your filters. Didn't even know it had one. Give it a brush too. Leave it to dwell for a few hours. I don't think, James, you're going to get any benefit. Try a stronger mix. 1 to 10. 1 to 10. You're putting hypo down at 1 to 10. The lowest ratio that I put hypo down is about 1 to 6. Unless I'm just post-treating some porcelain just to like sanitize the area, in which case it'll probably be about 1 to 9. 1 to 10 is not strong. It's very weak. But yeah, the things you're fighting against is it disappearing between the joints and evaporation. So as long as you can get some surfactant in it, if you're not using surfactant and it's not foaming up when you're applying it to the surface, it's not going to stay where you want it to stay, and it's going to evaporate in this heat very, very quickly. Which is why an X-Jet's pretty good, because it foams it up and it like keeps it active. As soon as it dries out, as soon as that surface is dry, it's like it's no longer active. But when you say, James, when you say leave it for a few hours, are you sure? Are you sure you know what you're talking about when you're giving this advice? Because sodium hypochlorite is generally dormant after about 40 minutes. It has no more effect after it's done its job. We generally leave it down for about 20 minutes because we use it pretty strong. But I mean, like 35-40 minutes max, and you're not going to get much more out of it after that. Especially if it's, you know, this sort of heat where it's just going to evaporate. I'm not trying to call you out or anything. I'm just like, you're giving advice very confidently. I just want to make sure I'm not mistaken. But yeah, good advice with brushing it to keep it active on the surface and to keep it where you want it. What's the best sealer? I've got 140 square meters to seal, and I was looking at floor seal. Central one, I would avoid sealing. It sounds like you're fairly new. This isn't, again, it sounds like I'm on my high horse trying to make out like I'm better than everyone else. I'm not trying to do that. If you're struggling to get rid of black spots and you're asking me what's the best sealer, generic sealer, you haven't told me what surface it's for. You haven't told me sort of like what look the customer's going for. Is it like a wet look? Is it a colour enhancer? Is it, you know what I mean? If it's your first sealing job, don't do it on 140 square meters. You're asking for trouble, especially in this heat. I'd give it 12 months before you take on any sealing job. Make sure you can get good results on like most surfaces before you start sealing. It's very tempting when the customer asks you, can you seal it as well? It's like, yeah, sure. But if it's your first attempt, be very clear with the customer that I've not done it before, but I'll give it a go and I'll do my research and stuff. But make sure you can get a good cleaning result where you clear all the black spots, and then follow it up with a very good quality, like high quality sanding finish. And once you're at that stage, then it's like, okay, now you might want to look into sealing. Amelia, thank you. Thank you very much. I bought a steam boiler and it's been useless, honestly, really. Hey Merrick, what have you been using it on? It's got its use cases. I mean, roof cleaning. Apparently, it means you can sort of turn the pressure down and still achieve like a really good result, and it almost sanitizes the surface if you're actually using steam. Most people are just putting out hot water. It's not steam. Darren from PWS sort of opened my eyes to all that. It's like, by the time it's coming out the nozzle at the top, it's not really steam, it's just very, very hot water. And to get the most out of the whole point in using steam is that it like sanitizes the surface by killing any organics. I'm adamant steam is a luxury, especially for winter. It'll be lovely in the winter, yeah. Used it one time for a roof and it slowed me down for the same result and burned my O-rings. Oh no. If your kit is doing exactly what you want it to do, why get extra kit like steam, etc.? When do you settle and just earn? Revive, this is exactly my point, mate. This is the thing that I've been saying to people from day one. It's like, when do you stop? I understand spending to advertise, sign writing, Google ads, leaflets and stuff, spending money to keep the leads coming in. But at what point do you just get to the point where you're happy with your kit and then you just maintain it. You don't have to keep upgrading every single time you see something shiny and new. It seems like this industry, the natural progression of this industry is, I've got a list of things. I've got a list of like new things that I need to buy. And everything's so expensive in this industry. It's like, when do you stop spending money on the on new equipment? Not on the business, because you're always spending money on the business, but on like new equipment, fancy new upgrades. When's enough enough? I think they've got us by the balls. They make all this new equipment so good, and realistically it's either a minor convenience upgrade, or it's a minor time saving upgrade. But you could be spending a couple of grand just to get a minor convenience and time saving. You know what I mean? And that's, I'm not telling people how to spend their money. It's absolutely fine. Do what you want. That is a question that I thought as well. Like, I'm thinking about retirement. Not soon, but I'm thinking like, why do I want to keep upgrading just for the sake of it, just so I can do the jobs a little bit quicker? It's like, I've now got I'm spending 5 grand on this new setup. Yeah, some people are spending 13, 14 grand on a van mounted system with boilers and solar panels and all this sort of stuff. It's like, how many jobs have you got to do to earn that back? Quite a few. I don't really understand it. 1 to 10 hyper, you could drink that. I was using about 30% and had that in mind for 1 to 10 ratio. You're using 30% hypo. Yeah, I don't think you can buy 30% hypo, mate. You might be confusing it with acid. You can buy like 36% acid. It's for block paving. If I can get rid of black spots out on the drive, he will have it sealed. Okay. I'm 9 months in and won't go near sealing yet. Doing my first repointing clean soon. Took me a lot to say yes. Want to percent each area before adding more. Want to percent each area. Perfect. Do you mean perfect? Yes. Yeah, that's another thing, is like taking on too many different services before you really get good at any of them. I had this conversation with, I did my first consult the other day. So members only on YouTube. Someone paid me to sit down with them for an hour and answer their questions one-to-one, which was new for me. I've never done that before, but here's the video, members only video on YouTube, posted 2 days ago. So if you're interested in like a 50-minute long chat where I tried to give someone some business advice, I think it went well. You should have a look. But we were talking about adding too many services so that you become like jack of all trades but master of none, and it's a trap. Just be careful. I'm new to being out on my own, but I worked with my mate's business for a year, so still new to the game. Okay. Buying new toys is fun. True. I have spent just over 20 grand in the last 9 months on toys. 30 grand. That's I mean, if that's the way you want to spend your money and you do this job every day, and a little bit of added convenience and a little bit of making the job a little bit faster and smoother and easier to set up and slightly better results and stuff, then go for it. I'm not criticising anyone. You know, you spend sometimes 8 to 10 hours a day at work. If you can make your life easier, I'm all for it. However, I think there's a point in which you've got to look and think, am I spending more than I'm earning, or am I spending all my money I'm earning? You know what I mean? Like after once you've like looked at your expenses and your tax and the cost of your uniform and fuel, lunch, all the other maintenance costs that go with it, a lot of people would be surprised how much money they're actually in profit. I think a lot of people would be a little bit lower than they expect after they actually consider everything. And then on top of that, if you're like spending a lot of money on fancy equipment every month, it really adds up. So I think at some point you've got to just like make profit. I'm all for making profit. I think profit's good. Profit gets you places. If you want to be a busy fool, I think, I don't know. Can you have a look at the Washmaster from AC Pressure Washers? Looking to upgrade and thought it would be good to know your thoughts. Sure. Washmaster. Washmaster. 21 200 bar cold water van mounted system. Electric start Honda GX 390. That's a very good start. Very good start indeed, especially for a van mounted machine. The last thing you want on a van mounted machine is pull start. I think that's sacrilegious to have pull start on a van mount. I don't think it makes any sense. So the fact that it comes with an electric start, Billy bonus. 650 litre tank. I would say personally, I've just bought a 650 litre tank. I would say for a single machine, that's a little bit excessive. And especially for like a 21-200, we get away. I mean, Jakey's got a 21-200 and he's got a 210 litre buffer tank or 240 litre buffer tank, I think. And he manages absolutely fine. Very rarely runs out when he's working on his own. I think a 650 litre tank is going to take up probably a little bit more room than necessary, but that's just my opinion. It does mean, what it does mean is that you can potentially go for longer. However, you'd probably be turning up to the job with some water in the tank. For it to make any difference whatsoever, to have like a bigger tank like that, you'd want to be turning up to the job with at least half a tank, which is 325 litres. That's a lot of water to be carrying around in the van. So depending on what size van you've got, you want to check your weight limits and stuff to make sure like a 650 litre tank is viable for your van size. I would suggest a 250 litre upright tank would be more than adequate for this machine, personally. However, if you've got like a big van, like a Sprinter or something, 650 is fine. And it means you can drive around with half a tank, probably. 60 metre high pressure hose, perfect. We've got 50 meters on ours. Have we got 50 or 40? We've got 40 meters on ours, and we've got a 10 meter extension in the van, which we occasionally use, which gives us 50 total. So I think 60 all on the reel is very good. I think that's a good choice. Nice size. And a 50 meter low pressure hose is perfect. And it's a 3/4 inch chunky boy with those big boy fittings there. Look, that's the ones I really wanted, the big orange ones. Ended up with these. Ended up with these, which aren't quite the same. I think those ones look better. It's all mounted very nicely. It's got the, is it like a galvanized, or I don't think it's powder coated, is it? Is it galvanized or powder coated? It's that like two-tone, it looks like it's been dipped, and it's like light grey and dark grey speckly effect on the frame. Very nice hose reels. These hose reels are lovely. Very expensive hose reels. These are the stackable ones, aren't they? I think that's the 90-meter hose reel, and that's the 50. No, it's got to be more than 50 because it's got 60 on the reel. Moving down. It includes the Q spigot lance. Nice. So you get the Q fittings with it, which is invaluable. Oh, I like this video. Cracking little video. Ooh, I like that. Good idea. Pressure gauge on the front. Good. Good. I don't know anything about these unloader valves, so we've got K1 unloaders on ours, and I've got a needle valve. It looks like I can see it's got a easy start valve on the front there, which is good. You've got a little ball valve on the bottom here. I guess that's for draining the tank, which is good. The Q spigot bloody goddamn trigger is good. VRT3 trapped pressure unloader valve. Don't know what that is, but good. Looks like it's all quality equipment, mate. As for the price, £6,150 plus VAT. You could clearly build this yourself for cheaper, but will you build it as well as someone who's been in the game for many years? Probably not. They've probably perfected this van mount design in-house. They've probably built a lot of these, and they've tested all the bugs and the ironed out any issues with it. So I don't think you'll have any issues there, mate. I mean, if you were to buy that engine and pump on a skid, you're probably looking about, what, 2.5 grand maybe? I don't know. The hose reels are about 350 quid each or something ridiculous like that. They're so expensive. A lot of what you're paying for there is convenience. It's all there. It's all set up for you. You pull one hose out of the van, stick it onto the customer's water supply, and then you pull one more hose out to start pressure washing, and that's it. No other setup involved, which is very convenient. This is what I want to do to ours. We haven't got the low pressure mounted hose reel yet, but this would be the dream. I don't know if that helps you in any way, mate. I hope it does. I can't really comment on the price. It's there's lots of similar systems priced in like, let's compare it to PWS, for example. Static floor, no, that's the wrong one. I didn't mean to click on that. Cold, petrol and diesel, and mounted. That's what I was looking for. Let's see if we can build or like grab the same machine from PWS. Have they not got the low pressure and high pressure reels? We can't compare. Has he still got Specky on there? I thought they fell out. Is that Joseph Specky? Electric start Vanguard. Okay, so there's no Honda option. I know the Vanguard electric start is slightly cheaper than the Honda electric start. 21,200. Does this come with like? Does it come with a turbo nozzle or anything? It doesn't say. I would assume that it comes with a couple of lances and all the nozzles you need to get going. You would assume that, wouldn't you? You would assume. Let's assume turbo pack. I like that you get to choose with this. I think this is very cool that you get to spec it how you want it. They've obviously made sure all these different variants like fit. The only issue with this is you don't get the low pressure reel. This is an unfair comparison because they're totally different. These are totally different. Yeah, no point even comparing those. I wonder if Rutland pumps have got a similar one. Van mounts. Can we find anything without a boiler? Hot compact, hot compact. Do they not do one without a boiler? That's interesting. So if you were to look at like this, for example, I wonder what an electric start Honda GX390 would cost. 21,200. Is that electrical pull start? I can't tell. I can't tell. Probably pull start at that price, I would have thought. So really, the engine and gearbox and pump, the main components, aren't the bulk of the price, really. It's everything else around it. Does that help? I don't know. Sorry. Hope it does. New toys and new customers are essential to keep your business running and make it more exciting? Question mark. Jacob, you finished that sentence with a question mark. Does that mean you believe what you just said, or you're asking me? I don't think new toys are essential to keep your business running, no. Are they essential to make it more exciting? Yes. I think maintenance is the key to keep your business running, and new customers, yeah. Love watching your vids. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Summer Shine, welcome. Tried my first grind out Pro Joint Titan back in June. What a nightmare. Too hot. Didn't pour into the joints as advertised. Because it was too hot, mate. Yeah. Did it dry on the surface of the slabs by any chance? I don't think... We've got a repointing job starting on Wednesday. And it's the biggest repointing job I think we've done. Well, I did one back in the day, but not with Nexus Titan. This is around about 160 square meters, I think, that we're going to be repointing sandstone. And I'm not going to do it in this heat. I'm just going to tell the customer, like, we'll grind the joints, we'll clean it. I'm happy to seal it on a early morning if temperatures are okay. I think we're going to be using a water-based sealer from Smart Seal, but I'm not going to be repointing it with Nexus Titan in this heat. So we'll have to wait a couple of weeks. I don't know. Not as easy as it looks in the videos. No, very true. Jake, I've got to put hard setting sand into a block paved area, then seal it. Would it be 2 visits, or could I just use the sealer to wet the hard sand? No, I would say no. So the first issue you have is that I don't believe that sealer, because it's more viscous than water, I don't believe that it'll penetrate far down enough into the joint to solidify enough of that hard setting sand. 2, the product asks for water, not sealer, and so you don't want to. I don't think you want to be playing with that sort of stuff. I don't think you want to mess about with it. Just do the process as it asks. 3, with any of those, with that hard setting sand, the Pro Joint Poly Sweep It's very dusty and powdery. And so what you'll want to do, without fail, is brush it in, leaf blow it off, and then mist it, wet it, increasingly heavier coats. And then the last coat is almost a rinse to get the residue off of the face of the blocks, because there is like dusty residue that will stick around on the face of the blocks. And if you skip that process, you're going to be sealing dusty residue on the face of the blocks, because your sealer's not going to disperse it. You know what I mean? The water needs to kind of clean the blocks afterwards as you're like watering the joints. So you'll have this dusty residue. The first coat is a mist to almost like stabilize the joints. The second coat goes in a bit harder. The third and fourth coat is more like a light rinse. Hope that helps. There's nothing to say that you can't do that. I'm not aware of any issue that you'd have by doing the hard setting sand as it says in the instructions, and then coming back maybe 3 or 4 days later when it's rock hard and then sealing over it. You might find there's an issue with permeability. I don't know how, depending on which type of sealer you use, I don't know if the joints will still be permeable as they were before. Because that jointing sand is permeable. If you seal over the top of it, I don't know if it's still going to be permeable. So you want to check that. And also, I don't know what's, is it like a resin? Is it like an epoxy that's in that hard setting jointing sand that causes it to set hard? Could that have any sort of reaction, like negative reaction with whatever sealer you decide to put down over the top? Because I've had the same question. I actually had the same thought process as you. Can I just seal instead of wetting it with water, or can I wet it with water, come back a couple of days later and then seal? But I've been too scared to do that because I don't know if it would have any adverse reactions. And the last thing you want is, after all that effort of doing all that, only to get to the final hurdle to seal the surface and then it all goes wrong. I would personally, I mean, what you're trying to achieve, I suppose, is the most hard barrier for the weeds. So if you seal it first, you might as well just not seal it, because it's not going to create a harder barrier, is it? I think the hard setting sand is fine on its own. If it's the look you're going for, seal it first, then put the hard setting sand in. But if it's the like weed resistance you're going for, then speak to Nexus and see if you can do polymeric sand first and then seal over the top. Had a similar van build, but got an auto electrician to put the leisure battery under the passenger seat away from the water. That's a good idea. Very good idea. The RT3 is pretty standard spec, not a flow sensitive like a K1. Okay. This is John Summers, by the way. I know. Yeah, I remember. I remember you. Yep, it dried. Had to go back and scrape, scrub, and pressure wash. John, if you get into that situation again, I've been recently informed about a product called Eco Protec joint residue remover. So this is specifically for like epoxy and acrylic silicon residues, so it's epoxy residue is what the Nexus Titan leaves. And so people have had really good success with this. So if you find that you ever have that situation where it sets on the face of the slabs too quickly because it's too hot, this product should remove it really well. I passed one of these jobs on to Cedars because it was a bit far for me and I've never used it before, but he said he's used it a bunch of times and it's a really nice product to use. If you grout, if you ground out pointing and cleaned a patio now and then brushed in Pro Joint in a couple of weeks later, would you charge for the clean and take payment for that now, and then let the customer pay for the rest of the job in 2 weeks? Could be a way of me getting pro joint paid for before I do it, instead of looking for a deposit. I would personally ask for a deposit. I think it's much more reasonable to say, I'm spending 500 quid on materials. Can I have that up front to pay for materials? I'm a small business. Cash flow's not as easy for me as like a big business. So you could frame it differently. You could say, okay, we've ground out the joints, we've cleaned it. Can I now take a deposit for the materials so that I can order those tonight? You know what I mean? Rather than, because they're not paying for you to grind out the joints and clean it. That's not what they're paying for. They're paying for the final result as a whole. But we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. Someone said they take partial payment for, I think it was Craig, takes partial payment for, I might be misspeaking, I'm sorry, for pressure washing like block paving, and then takes the rest of the final payment after he's resanded, just in case weather gets in the way, because weather's like a big deal when it comes to resanding, sealing, repointing and stuff, and it does sort of protect you against that. I would suggest to the customer that, tell the customer that up front. Say, we'll take payment first for the clean after we've completed the clean and the grind, and then we'll take the rest of the payment upon completion. So maybe we'll do 50% when we've cleaned it, 50% when it's complete. I think that's very fair. Don't drop it onto them on the day that you've cleaned it, because then they'll be like, oh, is he going to come back though? You know what I mean? Has he got disheartened? Is it a bigger job than he expected it to be, and now he's trying to get half the money so he can, you know, not lose any money on the job or anything? I think it's all just about communication with the customer. I said to a customer recently, we're doing a Block Magic job, repainting their block pave in a different colour. The job's about an hour away, and I said as part of the quote, I will ask you for a 30% deposit to cover the cost of the materials a week before we arrive. And she's actually chased me up and said, can we pay you the deposit now? And it's not even a week before. It's like, we're not going until the 19th, so it's so as long as you're clear and you communicate, I don't think you'll have any issues. Valid question though. No worries, John. I understand, mate. I'm getting lots of WhatsApp messages. Luke's in the bath. Luke's watching me in the bath. You've got a screen in your bath, mate. That's what I want. I want that. I want a screen, and I want some good speakers. Can I pull this up on stream? That's brilliant. That's what I want. That is a TV in the bathroom, right above the bath. Is that safe? Right, look how bougie your bathtub is, and you got this little. What's that? Is that like a little? That looks like a toy. That does. Is your shower on the other end, or is that your shower? Do you have to sit in the bath to have a shower, or do you have a shower on the other end? What are all the knobs? You've got 1, 2, 3 knobs. Very bougie indeed. Very bougie. Look at all these WhatsApp messages I'm getting. Got my super cheap 60-meter hose reels. Look at you guys watching me in the background, you weirdos. What a bunch of creeps. Some of you watching me in the bath, some of you watching. No, that's only joking. Those look okay. Are they plastic? Yeah, I mean, if it's just low pressure hose, it's not going to be a huge deal if they're not great, I suppose. And I bet they're well cheap, aren't they, from that water irrigation? How much were them hose reels? Clearance. There. Are you serious? £6? You can't really go wrong, can you? That's hilarious. £6. This is Darren's mount with both hose reels. Turn the sound down. Not on his website. Very customizable. How do I go full screen? Was this at the expo? Both hose reels. Yeah, so that would be more comparable, I think. And that's a smaller, it looks like a 250 litre upright tank, which I think is the right tank for this sort of setup. I think any more than about 350 litres, and it's probably just you're wasting room, really. Based on my experience. We don't have a price on this, though. Hot, cold, and selector for the tap, or shower wand. Shower wand? The fourth knob is just out of shot. Matt. That's a banger. Have a separate shower cubicle, but it's all waterproof. Nice to chill after a long day. You've got a separate shower cubicle. God, someone's doing well, aren't they? Someone is doing well. Here's the roof scrape we did. I haven't posted this yet, but these are the pictures I sent to the customer. Not bad, not bad. I bought these cat ladders off my mate Callum. 250 quid. They're the longest cat ladders you can buy. Not a bad result on that one, I think. Come up really well. Oh, I had a bit of a nightmare. I had a bit of a mishap on this one. You know my big triple set of ladders that I've got with the big... I haven't got a good picture of them. I think I posted it in the Discord, actually. In the roof cleaning chat. So these ladders, I've got this big like bull bar on the top, these ladder standoffs, and I moved them from the right to the left, and I was walking backwards with them extended like this, and it was very silly because they're heavy ladders anyway, and I lost my footing a little bit, and so I started to wobble. And because they're so top heavy, as soon as they go past a certain point, that's it. There's no rescuing them. And I've never dropped them before, but now that they've got these big, the standoffs on the top, they're so much more top heavier than they were. And it's very silly. I shouldn't have done it, but it went as I was moving it. Jakey had his headphones on. I had my mask on because I was doing the biocide from the ladder. And so I was moving them, lost my footing, the top of the ladder started to go, and I didn't scream, but like I shouted as loud as I could to Jakey because it was going straight for him. What was he doing? I think he was tidying up the backpack or something. He was like winding the hose around his arm or something. I can't remember what he was doing, but he was on the drive to the left. And the top of the ladder was coming straight for him. And I couldn't do anything about it. That was so heavy. And I pulled on my groin, like the side of my leg, twisting, trying to keep them up. And it just went down, it slammed down onto the drive about a foot away from Jakey. And if it had hit him, it'd have caused some serious damage. And he couldn't hear me because he had his headphones on, and I had my mask over my face, so you can't hear anything really. And then the front door opened. I was like, oh, the customers just heard that. They're coming out to they probably think I've just fallen off the ladder or something. But they were just taking the kids to the car and sort of waving the kids off. So literally 5 seconds later, the customers came out the door, and I'm like trying to pick up the ladders. Very embarrassing. Luckily, no one saw, I don't think, but I'm never doing that again. I'm never moving those ladders while they're extended again. Very silly. Lesson learnt. You can get extensions to go on your cat ladders to make them longer. I did read about that somewhere. Where did I see that? Cat ladder extension. Your work is brilliant. Great job. Thanks, Mark. Thanks very much. Do you mean like these? Like these extra bits? So I was just gonna do what I always do and buy cheap. I was thinking we've got this roof scrape coming up. I need to get my own set of ladders, my own set of roof ladders, instead of keep relying on either Rich or Callum. And I was gonna buy this little Screwfix add-on for my ladders. But then I forgot that proper cat ladders have these little rubber rests that go further down the ladder to like protect the tiles. And so I thought, I want them really. I want to do it properly. And then I looked at like proper cat ladders, and they're like 450 quid or something for the long ones that I wanted. And so I was like quite reluctant to buy them because I thought, like, how many roof scrapes are we going to do? Okay, it's coming into towards the end of the season. We're probably going to be doing more roof scrapes later on in the year. I should probably invest in some good ladders. I've already got like 4 sets of ladders on the roof. And then Callum texted me. Like I said, can I borrow your ladders again for Friday? And he was like, do you want to just buy them? Because we don't use them anymore. He does like a new roof. He's got like a new roof access system at his work where he's just using like rope and harness and like eye bolts and stuff drilled into the customer's property, which is what I want to learn. So I think he's going to be teaching me that. So he doesn't use the ladders anymore. So it's like perfect timing. 250 quid. I think they're about 350 new. So that was good. You got a link to a good set of ladders. I feel like mine could be far better, but not really sure on this. Roof ladder, not a cat ladder. What's the difference? I thought a cat ladder was a roof ladder. Cat ladder. Roof ladder. What's the difference? They both look the same when you type it into Google. Don't buy those bolt-on things. They're crap. I mean, Rich has got some on his ladders, and they work perfectly fine. They I wouldn't even say they look flimsy. To be fair, they look fine. We used them on a roof scrape about a month and a half ago. They did a decent job, I think. I think the ladders that I've just bought are the light ones. Light roof ladders. And I think you can get them from Screwfix. So I think I've got like the 7-meter ones or something ridiculous. 5.6, 6.4, 7.6. So these are like the biggest ones you can buy, I think. Pretty sure these are the ones I've got, or something very similar to this anyway. Yeah, like almost 400 quid, which it's a lot of money, but they're a good set of ladders. Yeah, that's the ones I've got. Yeah, pretty much exactly the same as those by the looks of it. And they come in, you can get a couple of different sizes and stuff, but I just wanted the biggest ones because I just don't want to. I don't want to be on that one roof where they're just not quite long enough. Roof ladder goes on top of the roof. Cat ladder normally goes up the side with a metal surround. Really? If Callum does teach you, can I come too? I have just bought a harness and rope access kit. I could do with some training. Yeah, I mean, if you guys, if anyone, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. If anyone's interested, I'm sure he'd be very up for doing some training because he's putting a training course together for his current employer. He'd definitely be well up for that. Yeah. Oh, that's a cat ladder. Oh. Okay, I've been saying it wrong this whole time then. I've been saying cat ladder for the wrong thing. Thanks, John. Has anyone got any questions? Anything been burning in the back of your mind that you've been open to, that, you know, something you've been wondering that you haven't really found an outlet for? I know some people like to ask questions on Facebook and stuff, and some people like to drop comments in YouTube videos asking questions and things, and depending on what it's about, I might be able to answer some simple questions for you. We've got time. Bad news, everyone. My profile strength on Google has dropped for some reason. This was like bright green before. Very good profile strength. I don't know why it's dropped, but that's interesting. Business profile interactions. Can you guys have a look at this on yours and let me know what your numbers are? Time period March till August 25. Let me know what that number is, because I've got nothing to compare that to. I don't know if that's good or bad. But profile interactions, I don't update my Google page ever. I get reviews and stuff, but I don't post pictures or anything on my Google page. I occasionally update my website with like some wording changes and different links and stuff. I do service my pressure washer. How dare you? I don't do it myself. I got pressure washer sales and service in Evesham to do it. What jointing compound do you all use? We only use the Nexus Titan now. I won't use anything else. I mean, to be fair, there is an argument in this weather to use something like Fusion instead, which isn't like a two-part mix. You could argue that this would be more appropriate for this kind of weather, where it's too hot and it sets too quickly. I bet you'd have much more time with something like this. It is expensive, mate, but it's just better than most of the stuff you buy in the shop. You know what I mean? It will last so much longer. Keep adding photos to your Google page. More content, more engagement. Very true. Yeah, I don't think of it. I don't even consider it. Need to send a couple of quotes over, so going to have a shoot. Appreciate the advice, Jake, and again from the rest of you guys. Night all. Thanks for watching. Revive and refresh. Thanks, mate. What's the meaning of life? Darren, should we go deep? Should we have a little deep dive? Is it happiness? No, that's the purpose. I'm thinking about what's the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? What does it cost? If you have a look on CleanLink's website, who is now, I'm very proud to say, an official sponsor of the Smelt YouTube and socials empire. CleanLink supply Nexus Titan. Now they supply a lot of Nexus products. All of the Nexus products by the looks of it. So you got your polymetric hard setting jointing sand. The Titan here is on sale. Some of the colours are on sale. That's very cheap actually. That's the cheapest I've seen. £59. Probably plus VAT, I think. And a shipping charge per bag per tub. I do have a sponsor code at the bottom for CleanLink. It should pop up in a minute. I don't know if it applies to Nexus products. I'm not too sure. You'll have to check that. What's the minimum joint thickness? Probably around about 5mm, I would have thought. 5mm. We grind ours out to a depth of about 25mm. No more than that, else it seems like a bit of a waste. So we've got CleanLink, who are an official sponsor. We have Smart Seal. We've got another code there for Smart Seal. We're also an official sponsor of the channel. Nexus Titan, or Nexus Pro Joint, confirmed today that they'll be an official sponsor of the channel, which is very exciting. And we'll be announcing 2 more over the course of the next couple of weeks, hopefully. Any idea how much fusion I need for 70 square meters? We get around about 15 meters squared per tub of Titan, which is 22 kilograms. So 70 square meters divided by 15. If you were to use the Titan, you get more in a tub. You'd need about 5 tubs, roughly. With the fusion, because it's a smaller tub, you probably need to go 7 or 8 maybe. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. How does it handle dot and dab slabs? Does it run under and away? I can't say I've noticed, to be honest. I noticed on the most recent patio we did, there was just a corner where it just kept falling through and I couldn't fill it up. But then if you come back to it a little bit later on, when it starts to get a bit gloopy, you can sort of push it into the joint and it'll stay. So you've got sort of different stages of viscosity. The longer into the process you get, the further into the process you get, the more malleable it becomes. The other thing you can do is backfill the joints with like a grit. You could, if you're worried about using too much product because the slabs have been incorrectly laid and you've got all crevices underneath and stuff, you can backfill those crevices with some grit. Someone in the Discord made a pole with a tool on the end, which was 2.5 centimeters deep, and it fit in between the joints. So he used sand. I wouldn't have personally used sand. I'd have used grit, but he put sand over the whole patio and then just rubbed this tool across the joints so they were all perfectly to depth, and then he went in with the jointing compound, which I think is a really good idea. I think we might have to do that this week as well, because this big patio we're doing has been very poorly laid, so I'm expecting to have that kind of issue as well. Use the calculator on the website. Yeah, I would actually take that with a pinch of salt. The calculator, from what I've seen, does spit out a little bit too much. Almost double in some cases. So when I've ordered stuff based on the calculator, sometimes it comes out double when you type all this in. Whether I'm miscalculating or not, I don't know. So average paving unit width. So paving unit would be like 600 by 900 mil for Indian sandstone. Joint width, we're probably talking 2 centimeters, maybe 20 mil. Depth, we want it around about 25 mil, and the area, let's go 70 square meters. So for the Titan, I said you'd probably need about 5. This reckons around about 7. So it's not far off, to be fair. Fusion, it's saying you're going to need around about 12 tubs. So, but it depends what slabs you've got, and it depends how big the joints are. But that's, I mean, that is useful, to be fair. It looks like they might have adjusted this calculator slightly, because it was quoting about double before. And it also depends how you use the Titan as well. Some people will sweep the excess off and then bin that excess and then start a new tub because it started to sort of set. But I pour that excess back into a new tub, because sometimes after 4 or 5 tubs, you've got like another tub's worth of excess. And if you're not using it in the next tub, it just sort of goes to waste and it dries hard. You ideally need to address the dot and dab before regrouting. Very true, but are you gonna really? I mean, you're not a landscaper, presumably. You're an exterior cleaner, so this, even repointing is like pushing it, really. I think when it comes to exterior cleaning, it's like, it's not an exterior cleaner's role to repoint a patio. It's more of a landscaper. It's just one of these add-on services. When you get into relaying slabs or pulling up patios to address the dot and dab, like, that's landscaping to me, that is. You got to sort of pick your lane. Is that someone else's job, or is that something you want to go into? I think patio restoration is a very cool idea for a business. I think you could do, I think if you didn't advertise for pressure washing, gutter clearing, driveway cleaning, any of that sort of stuff, if you honed in on just offering patio restoration, and all you'd have to do is base it on some really good videos and some really good before and after pictures, and just say, look, you can either spend 10 grand to have this patio replaced, or we can fully restore it for 4 grand. What would you rather do? And it will look better than the day it was laid. I think that's like a business model in itself. I think you're offering the customer value, and it's so niche, but I think it applies to so many properties out there. Are you grinding out with 18-volt grinders? Try a 9-inch disc cutter. Yes, a 9-inch disc cutter. What about when you get up to another slab? You know what I mean? Are you getting those intersections out by hand with like a... Sand and cement material is cheap. You will cry if Titan is pouring under the slabs. True. Yeah, very true. I'm a traditional pointer Daz, never use anything else but sand and cement. Evening, Jed, welcome. guys, I'm going to call it an evening. I've got an early start tomorrow. It's a day off, but I've got a quote to do. I've got the kids because it's summer holidays, and I've got a meeting with my accountant, so I should get some sleep. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope someone's found some sort of value from this, and make sure you watch my new video. I've just put out a new video today. I ruined this driveway 2 years ago, just about restoring and resealing a driveway that went wrong a couple of years back, so make sure you watch that. Links are in the descriptions for discount codes and stuff if you've missed any, and make sure you're subscribed, like the stream. Have a great week.